Good morning. Good morning, and welcome to our yoga practice. I'm going to have to scoot your boot there a little bit. Well, we are just rolling out our mat, or attempting to, and preparing for our practice, which will start in just a minute. We're going to begin in child's pose. I might not have given myself a lot of space. That's all right. We can make it work. About that time, we'll start heading to our child's pose. Toes near one another, knees near one another, belly to thighs. If belly to thighs with the knees near one another doesn't serve you, you can take the knees wide to the edges of the mat, a little extra space to melt into. Just let the arms be easy. That could be a nice generous bend at the elbow. Then make a pillow with the fists or palms for the forehead. A nice place where you can settle in. Take the focus to the breath. Nice even inhales and exhales. Probably can't take too big a breath here, especially if the belly is resting on the thighs. But just build that awareness. See if the exhales can help you release a little surface level tension. Maybe you're clenching the toes or holding a little tension in the shoulders. And as we become more aware of the breath in the body, notice if the mind begins to wander away. It's thinking of the to-do list, the plans for later, going over something that happened earlier in the week. The mind is away from you. Invite it to come back to be present with you, aware of the mat beneath you, the air around you, the breath within you. And as we take a few more centering breaths here, if you'd like to set an intention for class, just something positive that's on your heart today. It's the time of year for that, for sure. I invite you to do so. Maybe that's kindness. Maybe it's simplicity. Maybe it's adventure, whatever it is. It can be a nice touchstone for you to tap back into. Take the arms out. A little space between the head and the mat. Really reach the fingers away. Leave the hips settled near the heels. Feel that nice activation through the shoulders, the length of side body. And then when you're ready, we'll take the arms over to the right, settling down. Big stretch for the left side body. Breath is steady. Walk the hands back through center. We swap sides, settling in as we reach to the left, feeling the breath in the right ribs, the length from right hip to right fingertips. We'll walk the hands back to center. Inhale up, finding our tabletop. Somewhere near the middle of our mat. Hips over knees, shoulders over wrists as best you can. Spread the fingers out nice and wide. Give yourself a good base. The back is straight, the gaze at the mat. On an inhale, lower the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale as you round, arch the back from tailbone to the crown of the head. Inhale, lower the belly. Exhale, round. Inhale, lower. Exhale, round. Really press the earth away. And just continue these cat-cows at your own breath pace for a few rounds. Aware of how the spine is feeling. Connecting movement and breath. If you get a little off kilter at some point, if you pause and then the breath starts back, just reset at that neutral and return. We'll take one more full round and then meet back at that neutral spine. From our neutral spine, we'll leave the hips where they are, nice and high. Start to slide the hands away as you melt the heart toward the mat, puppy pose. You can stay on the palm of the hands, you could tent the fingers, you could come down to forearms, finding what works best for your shoulders today, your wrists. Feeling that big stretch through the front midline, through the shoulders. We'll start to walk the hands in as we lift up, back to our tabletop. Fly the right leg. Scoop the belly as you bring that knee forward and plant the hand somewhere near the front of the mat, our low lunge. Frame the foot with the hands. Give yourself nice support. And double check that knee is stacked or a little behind the ankle. And draw the gaze forward if you like. Or it can stay kind of down at the mat. Awareness drawing to the left hip, the front of the left leg. And then we'll shift the hips back. Keep the right heel connected to the mat. Hamstring stretch. So we're straightening that right leg a bit. You can keep a bend at the knee. Mindful of how the back of your leg is feeling. Only sit the hips back as far as your body wants today. And then walk the hands forward as you plant the right foot back down on the mat. Bring the right hand inside that foot. Heel toe the foot to the edge of the mat. So we're setting the right foot at about a 45-degree angle. Toes are off the mat, heels are on the mat. If you have a much longer stance, that foot might be totally off the mat. If you have a shorter stance, it might stay on the mat. We just want it to go to the side here a bit as we find our lizard lunge. Big hip opener. Hands are in the mat supporting us. Finding a little ease in the hips. That exhale helping us dive a little deeper. With control, start to heel toe that right foot back to its starting point. Frame the foot with the hands. Curl the left toes, lift off of that knee, runner's lunge. Hands are in the mat. Step the right toes back, high plank for one breath. You can lower to the knees here if you like. We'll lower the knees, uncurl the feet, and gently find our way back to our tabletop. Taking a breath here as we find our nice neutral. Fly the left foot. Scoop the belly. Try not to scrape the foot along the mat. Oh, I did a little. That's all right. And we're setting that foot near the front of the mat. Low lunge, opposite side. Hips are sitting nice and low. Make any little adjustments you need to. Checking in with that bone stack on the left side. Again, maybe the gaze draws forward. Breath is steady. And then we'll shift the hips, coming into that hamstring stretch. Left heel stays connected to the mat. Hands move to help support us. Scanning from left hip to left heel. Little tension's all right, but if you feel any pinpointed pain, gently back out. We want to protect our body as we move through our practice. Start to walk the hands forward as you plant the left foot back on the mat. Left hand comes inside the foot. We'll heel toe it over. Setting it at that 45. Finding your variation of lizard lunge today. The hips are really ooey gooey. You can start to lower down onto forearms, really melting into the shape. My hips are definitely not there today, so I'm going to stay nice and lifted. Relax the feet. Keep the breath steady. You are melted down. You can go ahead and start lifting back up as we heel toe the left foot to its starting place. Frame that foot with the hands, curl right toes, lift off of that knee, runner's lunge. Find your foundation, step the left toes back, high plank. Taking a breath. And then we'll shift the hips up and back, down dog. Fingers are spread. We've got a nice base as we grip the mat. Heels reach to the earth, trying to find that flat back. That may mean a generous bend at the knees. You could pedal out the feet here, dropping one heel down and then the other. The heels don't have to touch the earth. And find ease as we walk the hands toward the feet at the back of the mat, coming to our forward fold. Upper body hangs, hands can reach to the earth. You could grab opposite elbows to hang in ragdoll. If you're holding elbows, go ahead and release them down. We'll take a generous bend at the knees, lowering the hips, belly to thighs. And find your foundation and then gently roll up. Coming to standing at our Tadasana. Head over heart. Arms at our side. Strong mountain pose. Inhale the arms up. Exhale as we forward fold. Plant the hands, start to walk them away from the body as we come out to our high plank. Take a breath. Elbows tight to the body as we lower down. Uncurl the toes. Inhale up to your cobra. That might be a baby cobra. That might be a mid-lift. Whatever variation is serving you. Release it down. Take a breath. On an inhale, find your lift once more. Relax the feet. Unless you're an up dog. And release. We'll press back hips to heels, child's pose. Arms stay stretched overhead. Walk the elbows a little closer to the head as you plant them down into the mat. Try not to get my hair. Palms come together overhead and thumbs drop toward the nape of the neck. We're finding a little tricep stretch. You may need to walk the elbows a little farther away from the shoulders. Release the hands back down to the mat. Come up to our neutral tabletop. Take the hands forward about a handprint each. Curl the toes. Lift the hips up and back. Down dog. Leave the hands strong as we root into the left toes. Lift the right toes up. With control, we'll bring right knee to right elbow. Press it back. Right knee, left elbow. Keep that foot hovering. Press it back. Knee to nose. Foot never touches the ground. Press it back. And then with control, bring that right knee forward, planting it behind the right wrist. As you lower down, left leg extends out beyond us as we uncurl the toes and come into our pigeon. So as you come into your pigeon, you may notice that the body wants to fall left or right. Try to keep it centered. You can stay lifted. You can start to melt down onto forearms, even resting the head if that's where you're at today. A big stretch for the right hip. And we hold the shape a little longer than our others. As we settle in and hold here, the mind may see its opportunity to wander off. And if that's the case, just gently invite it back. Notice the mat beneath you, the sensations you're creating in the body. Return to the breath. Let each exhale help you release a little deeper. About 15 more seconds. If you're melted down, we'll go ahead and start lifting up. Plant the hands, curl the left toes, lift off of that knee, step the right foot back as we return to down dog. Taking a breath here. Find that foundation through the hands and the right toes as you draw the left foot up. Left knee, left elbow. Press it back. Left knee, right elbow. A little bit of core work this morning. Press it back. Knee to nose. Keep that foot high. Press it back. And then with control, come to your pigeon. Left knee plants behind left wrist. Gently lower that down as the right leg extends out behind you. Keeping the body centered. You can settle in at whatever variation is serving you today. Relax the toes. Let the ankles settle. Release in the calves. Draw awareness to the left hip. Feeling that connection out into the body. This can also be a nice opportunity to tap back into that intention that you set for class. If you're melted down, we'll begin to lift up. Plant the hands, curl the right toes, lift off of that knee and step it back. Down dog. Walk the hands to meet the feet. Forward fold. Activate the core and the back muscles as you come to half lift. Shoulders draw away from the ears. We're in that 7 shape, hands to shins or thighs. Exhale as you release. Big inhale draws us up. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll take a breath as we release the hands. We'll draw the hands around behind us, maybe fist to low back, could also be flat palms up or down. We'll gently draw the elbows a little closer together and maybe stay right here, great chest opener. If you'd like to deepen the pose, we'll take a big arch in the back, like there's a giant ball behind us as we draw the gaze up, coming into our standing back bend. And you can come in and out of this as you need. It'd be nice to imagine a little string between the heart and the sky to help you keep that lift. We'll rise up, release the arms, give them a little wiggle as we're back in Tadasana. Big inhale as the arms draw up. Exhale as we forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale as we release. Lower the hips, lift the heart, chair pose. Tailbone draws down. Arms can hold that big ball out in front of us, or you could go hands to heart center. We'll drop the hands back to the earth as we lift the hips, not staying there long today. Start to walk the hands away and find your plank. Take a breath. Lower down. Inhale to your cobra. Exhale as you release. Press back hips to heels, child's pose. Taking a breath as you find ease in the arms. Start to lift up. Rotate onto a favorite hip as you swing the legs around, sending them out in front. Feet about hip width distance apart, sit bones connected to the ground. We're sitting tall. We'll lift the arms. With a long spine, hinge forward as you come to your seated forward fold. You can hold feet, ankles, shins, the mat. We're trying to avoid that rounding through the back. Sit tall, lead with the heart. Trying to keep the spine long here. Maybe there's a little micro bend at the knees. We'll inhale up. We'll draw one knee in and then the other. Heel toe the feet together. And then let the knees fall away from one another, coming into our bound angle. The soles of the feet can touch, but they don't have to, and the heels can be as close in or as far away as you need. We'll sit up tall, maybe stay right here. You could wiggle the legs a bit. If you'd like to deepen this stretch through the hips, lead with the heart. You hinge forward. I like to use the elbows to gently press on the legs, deepening the stretch, but if that isn't serving you, the elbows can stay close to the body. You could hold on to the feet instead of the ankles, maybe even giving yourself a little foot rub here. Two more breaths here. Gently lift up. Help the knees together. We'll plant the hands just somewhere behind us as we take the feet wide. And windshield wiper the knees. Hips can lift and rotate a bit. Just a little loosening after all of that hip work today. We'll find stillness and a comfortable seated spot. If you have extra time today and you wanted to lay down, relax the body, and take a Shavasana, I welcome you to do so. But if you're rounding out your practice with me here today, we'll bring hands together at heart center to seal it in. I encourage you to take kind thoughts, kind words, and kind intentions with you from now until we meet again. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for our yoga practice this morning. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful week ahead. And I look forward to seeing you back on the mat next Tuesday. Bye, everyone.